Let the chaos reign. The art of extinction. This is something that's never been really looked at or discussed. And any person, I always evaluate things as an entirely. Sometimes, and maybe it's either perfect or unperfect, or people might not like what will be said, but this is how I look at it, and I call it this: the art of extinction, because to exterminate or extinct anything, whether it's living things, animals, plants, and including people, there is really truly an art to it. For human beings or people, if you look at history and really understand it or study it and take it as its entirely, you have noticed that man has killed many things and destroyed many things in walk of life. And as I see it, that most of the men doing the most corruption, destruction on the planet are men that are really subpar or animalistic in nature. If we look at the original people, particularly melanated people, dark-skinned black people, that's been in this planet for over millions of years, that throughout the track record of the melanated or black people, that we have carried a sense, even up to this point, a sense of balance much through our existence until, the fall of many empires, including Egypt. Then certain African kingdoms start to slowly but surely crumble within Africa. And outside of Africa, there are other nations outside Africa that were melanated rich that start to slowly disintegrate and fall through other races of people within time. But one thing is clear: when you look at extinction, you have to look at it as an art form, and always think, how can I create this canvas of destruction for my liking and for me to be suitable to enjoy? So when I step back with my hands in a diamond shape or a square shape to look at the canvas I create, I know I created a work of art. So let's look at 3 ways of extinction. But before we go into the 3, we're going to look at a step back. As you see, with the non-black people on the planet, one of the few things they do when they come across other black people of this planet for centuries, it's easy to know what they do in regards to not only colonize the land, but how they control people. And one of the few games they do is, one, they come in like any bacteria virus. They spread their infection towards population people. And eventually population people will start to die or get sick and die through illness, through the bacteria the non-black people carry. Because like any organism, there is what we call the immune system and the virus. And the immune system's design is to protect the body from letting the virus spread. But in regards to man today, it is somewhat subpar failure to really contain or exterminate the virus within this so-called body of the earth. So what you see now, the first thing the virus does, like anything, it spreads and it causes poison to the body, and then eventually the body gets sick. Like how you see people of indigenous people, they get sick in front of non-black people, particularly either Caucasoid or any other type of beings that come here. And next you see that if it doesn't kill you through the sickness, the next step, you will see they go in their pilferage and then rape and then plunder. And usually the last and final stage, if you survive any of those three, you have miscegenation or assimilation, where now the host will sit there and copulate with you to create something more than other. And then eventually in time that other will copulate into that same virus, and eventually it becomes a virus itself within time. So when people look at nature itself, nature only operates in correction. Man opposes nature, but nature always gets smart and corrects itself, and man is not working with nature enough to be imposed. Now, I remember I had a talk with the good farmer man. I always said that man tries to manipulate and create an artificial outside nature for his liking, but the problem with that is that nature is very intelligent and it will correct itself eventually, because man knows that you have to fulfill your duty. If you're going to oppose this environment through nature, you better follow the laws of nature while you impose it. Anything outside the laws to create things that is what we call artificial, you will soon be in the stages of what we call extinction. Because nature don't operate through artificiality. It only operates through natural law and natural order. It's been here for millions and probably billions of years before man and woman were even set foot on here, and it will always be here. So, as much time as man is opposing the environment, he knows that's in his right state of mind, which today they're not in the right state of mind. And certain melanated and dark-skinned black men are not in the right state of mind today, because they've been very infected by this virus. That they, too, at times pose the environment, but not in a proper way. And not even the way to really protect nature from the virus. So right there, he could probably see himself in that same situation to what the virus is trying to maintain. Because it is slowly dying, but it will not just go away just like that. So now, another thing that I will say, these are 3 stages of extinction. 1, and these are all 3. This deals with amalgamation or assimilation, or what we call miscegenation. Any person knows, in regards to the kingdom, animals don't really interbreed with other different types of animals, because knows by doing that it creates mutations, something that's not supposed to be here, fit. And if you do see it, usually man plays a part in creating these animals, but also knows that nature and animals are very smart and they follow natural law and order. They know by going that you will create something else, and eventually that something else will eventually die off and no longer procreate within time, unless it's gone by that same means. Yeah, look at the same thing as with human beings today. Today we here in the West, we find that they push assimilation more and more as time progresses. Matter of fact, the assimilation process has been rampant to start having the races mix more through the help of media and propaganda with television for over 20 years now. And you're only going to see moving forward an acceleration of this process. And you must understand this for those that don't know how this game works. To create a virus, which is something that's not melanated, rich, or black, or African, whatever you want to call it, there are 2 ways. Or actually, there's 3 ways. 1, you engage in the miscegenation, which you take something that's black and something that is non-black, and you copulate, creating what we call other, a combination of the 2. Now, people could use DNA tests to find what percent this combination 2 is, but at the end of the day, you're creating some other. And through that other, depending on the environment, will also, if you're not controlled or in really imposed environment to dictate where this mutation goes, it spreads. And eventually will create others, which will go down that genetic pool, which I like to call the infection, the virus, and get even more infected virus by creating more virus. And eventually within 2 generations, going on to the third and final one, which is the third stage of the extinction, you become the virus completely. Very completely. And eventually, we all know with viruses and parasites, they need to feed on healthy bodies. And if it can't feed on healthy bodies, it starts to decay. Natural decay. So decay that eventually it comes to what we see the world today, a negative birth rate. So, in closing, know this. If you are a natural man and woman on this planet that have been here for millions of years, and you entertain and go through this assimilation process, which I call amalgamation, you too will find yourself in that virus state, which eventually will lead to natural decay. So take heed to this message. Study your history. Understand how the world works. And understand where your place is and where this world is going. And knowing that if man does not pose and respect nature while imposing the environment, he too will find himself in that extinction process. Comment, subscribe, and like the channel. And always, look out for other videos by Chaos Reign. Find me on Twitter, Chaos Reign 7. And I'm also on Anchor as well. The links will be on the description underneath this video. So let the chaos reign!